Good morning, everybody. It's about 9 o'clock here, just after, and we have some fun today. We are going to repot the 3 little species orchids that Georgia sent from Roehampton Orchids. We're going to repot them, look at them closely, and talk about them. And after we finish that, I have 3 orchids of mine that are very nice that I'm going to give away. Now, if you're local in Salmon Arm and you can pick it up right away, you are welcome to 3 nice orchids. I'm just going to do it by who sends me an email first. If I get no one locally, then I will go BC, Canada. So we're just going to do it in an order like that, and we'll talk more about it later. Because I have incoming, so I have to have some outgoing. And I want to share them with you. So that'll be at the end of this video. So I'm going to move the video over so that you can see exactly what's going on with these orchids. So let's get over there and do that. So you want a close-up to leave room here for me. There, that looks better. And down here. I'm not doing this very good, am I? Carolyn. That's where we want to be, Carolyn. Yeah, that's where we want to be. So, just set this so I can sort of see what you're seeing. So, let's move this in. And I have bark ready over here. And I'll line up the pot. There we go. Okay, this is my bark that has been soaking. It's medium Rexius bark. It looks small, but small is half the size of this. So it's medium Rexium bark that I buy in huge big bags from Buckerfields here in Salmon Arm. I ordered it in special. It's been soaking for at least 3 days with a 1/4 teaspoon of seaweed extract from the coast. It can be from anywhere, and Cali Magic that I ordered on Amazon. So that way it really makes a big difference when you're repotting your orchids to have this bark more used to moisture, because otherwise it'll quickly shed any water you give the orchid. So it does help. So we have 3 orchids here, and I have 3 pots. You know, this one's fallen over, so it's asking to be done first. And woo! Okay, this one's falling over. And this one is Miki Black Marble. It really lives up to its name. What I did is this morning early, I put some water. After you saw the last video, I decided this moss was, it's had its day, and it was packed, so I thought, well, I would put them in little bowls and kind of pick a bit of the bark around so they'd get air when I misted them. So that's what I've done for this, and this morning I put some water in it for it to soak for a while. Now I'm going to pick this pot. Kind of matches this flower nicely. So I picked this pot. I like this pot. It has a good drainage hole, and it has lots of other holes for good circulation. It's charging in the other room. So let's have a look and see what we got here. So I'm going to pick out. Now this moss, I was thinking of going half moss, half bark. But this moss it's not like real new, so the plant's been growing in this for quite a while. So I've decided, and I have pretty good luck. You can see there's some that were already just came off the roots. So I have pretty good luck, and we'll go through that and always look at them. Just want to pick all that out of there. I should have a bucket on the floor. You guys know me. But I clean up. There. It's just easiest. It's always awkward somehow doing this so that everybody can see. Let's push this all down. I try to be gentle. It's going to be well loved, but you do not see any green moss. This is all brown, and I really don't want to use it again. And you know I like to grow on the dry side. And now I looked up the culture care for each one of these orchids, and this is Miki Black Marble. She is good for a beginner. Now that's really a smart move because species are a little more difficult than no ID orchids you get from the grocery store because they've been bred to be so hardy. And you're getting a little specific breeding here, and that is just the one, but it's still good for beginners. Let's look in here. So here we have an old root but it's still green on the end, and I'm not one to cut those off. Maybe it's sometime in the future, but I'm not one to want to cut off any roots if I don't have to. Here we have an old root, but it's getting new sprouts. And this is what happens with some of the old ones you leave. And this is the growing season, and it's a good time for this to happen. Always look right in the center of your orchid because sometimes a bigger orchid, it will have the thing that they started the seed in there. And you do want to remove that because people write me and they say, I had one of those little pods in the center and it rotted my orchid because I didn't see it. So I always take them out. It's got a nice amount of roots. It's got new growth that's anxiously starting. It's a nice healthy plant. Now I do have right here, I like to keep some nice tweezers handy. And I do have to get some stuff out of the center. Sometimes it's hard for me to show you and then also see. Okay. Just to get some of this out it never fails. I always end up having to put it on the floor, but I have my thongs on. Not my thongs, but my sandals. There. We're getting somewhere now. Now, I think we're doing really good. This is the first little leaf here, and it was starting to grow. And now these leaves all look good. And once I give this a little rinse, which I will do right now, we should have something pretty clean to put in the pot. I got kind of a nice warm temperature a baby would like if it was having a bath. Oh yes, this is looking good. I'm very happy. Okay, let's have a close look. Okay, see these nice green roots? But then we have the new shoots. And from this side. So I think we're good. Now there's a little one right here that's a little soft. I'm just going to take that off. It's a good time after washing that you're looking to see if there's any moss stuck in holes. And I do see some right in here. There we go. I think we're ready to pot. I'm thinking it looks very nice. Now, I was going to leave some moss because it's a species, but I don't have moss because I don't use it, and I decided to go right with the bark. I think that's best. So what I have here is my soap bark, and I'm going to put some in this pot. There. And then the orchid. Oh, that's a beautiful colored pot. Sometime when it gets all grown up and bigger, it'll probably get a traffic cone because you know I love traffic cones. Whoops, I put too much in too quick. I'm going to take some out. There. I like it to sit high in the medium because there's less, the bark drains so quick. I've never had any root rot with my orchids because it drains quick and no water hangs around the surface because I don't use any moss on the top. And this is normally a very dry environment all times of the year. But we've had rain for 2 days and I noticed the humidity is naturally about 50%. So then we're going to give it a little hit. Shake some of the bark down. There's a big piece. Now some of the little roots that were on the surface, they're still on the surface. So you're not going to get any shock. And what I will be doing is watering it twice a week. The 1 day a week is my water schedule watering that I can give to anyone by email that wants it. I will quote the email under the description of the video. So the only other thing I want to do is give these little leaves a wipe. And there we are. I like these makeup pads, so let's check that one out. I think I'm just going to use this water that the bark's been soaking in, and it just helps to get rid of some of the debris that's been from the watering in the greenhouse. So not too hard a rubbing, but just a little cleanup. And then what else I do is, let's clean that a bit, Carolyn. I use these little ashtrays you can pick up at all kinds of thrift stores and bargain stores, but they make great saucers for your orchid, especially for ones that are missing. If I've picked them up at the thrift store, I believe I got this one, then they still look nice and they do the job. So this one is done, and I'm going to put it over here and make sure I put the tag there, Carolyn. There it is. There's the tag. Okay, number 1. Okay, the other one that has a tag. Oh, let's just talk about Miki Black Marble is a difficulty beginner. This is Roehampton description that helps you pick an orchid. The size is large, so yes, it's going to grow. And its temperature, quite happy with warm temperature. Watering, it likes a wet, dry cycle. That is exactly how I water. When my orchid, and I check it if you're new, you have to take it out the pot and check until you know. But when my orchid is feeling dry all the way down the pot with maybe a slight dampness in the bottom, I know it's watering time. But these will be getting watered twice a week instead of once a week. Just plain water on the second watering. They like humidity, 40% minimum. Bright indirect light. Well, these are going to go in my north window. They say east. My new patio has east windows, but I'm going to put them in the north. I find my species have done really well there because they do have some growing lights. And moss or bark, we've gone to bark. So that is a very good pick for helping us to keep our orchid healthy. A nice beginner one. And I am a beginner when it comes to species. Okay, so now we're going to do Phalaenopsis Fangmei Sweet. Okay, now this is the one that looked a little dry on the surface. So I'm going to just pick this bark off. I got some good bark here, or moss off. You know, sometimes Carolyn says words that make no sense. Okay, let's look inside this one. Get some of this off of here. This was the one that had some roots that were questionable when I first got it. And we're going to have a good look at what we got inside. But this moss, I don't want to salvage any of it. It's been there quite a while. And I'm going to show you. Look at this. See this? That root's coming right off. That root has had it. Now we got one long one here. That is coming off. That one is just, as you can see, yeah, it's no good. And there's another one. Let's get in here. This is why I love bark. I was so excited when I get one all in bark, and that's only happened once in all these years, 20 years or so. So, okay, we got most of this off. And now we can see most of the good roots. There is enough good roots to keep this plant going for the growing season. But, let's see, this one here. This is one that was on the surface. It's not moist. It was at some time. It's definitely dry. This, yeah, see? Yeah, we don't want that. This one I kind of knew when I saw these roots on the surface. I kind of knew these are old roots. They've been there a while. They're dry. And this one here, see this one? They have to come off. Yeah. And down in here, I'm going to clean that up. We have lots of good roots. That's the good thing. But those ones we don't need. And then up here, this one, it started out good. This part is kind of dried. And I'm just going to pinch it off and leave the rest. Other than that, we got a healthy plant. And I leave these. They help stability in the pot. And I always leave them. And you know, as you go in your orchid journey, you find things that you seem to like. And I have quit spraying mine unless I see a real reason to. Haven't done it in years. I don't use anything I don't have to use. And these are healthy plants. I'm just going to take the sheath of an old leaf off right here, because sometimes that leaves a spot for harboring insects, which we don't want. So we're going to take that, we're going to pull it off. And here's the old stem. So we have a healthy plant, which it's got one leaf yellowing, which is natural. Growing season, we're expecting new leaves on all of these. So let me give this a quick rinse. Okay, here's one I should show you. Okay, here we had a root coming out. It's a little soft in there, but then a nice hard piece. Then troubles on and off, and now a nice green shoot. So some of these, you know, they're surprising. That inner vellum is sometimes just fine, and when I have a new orchid, I don't worry about that. Mine get lots of roots. By misting the outside where the pot, it encourages them to grow. And I leave these, and if at some time I feel I'll cut them, then I will. Now, it's losing one flower right here. So we're going to take that off. It does have a bud. I'm going to leave it with its bud. It's healthy enough. And now a pot. I have two more pots here. And I think I'm going to pick this one. It is You know what? I have two more pots, and I have a shortage of small pots. But you know what? Joanne, when she sent me the saucer for, I have the paloric orchid in, she also sent me one of these. And it says here, Lowe's Home Center. Now, I looked at this, and I've never seen these anywhere here. I don't often shop online for pots. I'm a grad sale person. And she sent this. It is, and I have to admit, if you can get these are beautiful. They have good bottom drainage, lots of air holes, and the light gets in. And because this orchid is a little sadder than the other one, I am going to say, let's put that one in here and we can watch its growth. Thank you. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Joanne. You guys are so nice to me. And that's why I'm going to part with a few orchids myself. Because, you know, it's nice to receive and it's nice to give. Boy, I should have soaked more bark. Carolyn. You should have soaked more bark, but I can add some later. But I do have this over here, and this is fine. Okay, let's put that on the top. I hope everybody's seeing everything. There. Okay, and we have a tag. Yay! And we're just going to take that cloth again, and we're just going to wipe some of the water spots from the greenhouse off and check underside. There. Now look, isn't this wonderful? And yeah, this is a nice pot. Now you could put that in another pot to help hold the humidity. This might be very dry for some people, but you could put it in another pot and it would hold more humidity in. But if you're in a high humidity area, I would leave it just like this and put it on a saucer. There we go. That's what I would do. Okay, number 3. I'm going to put all that up there. I always say I'm going to show you the floor, but you know, really it's just a dustpan away. A dustpan and a broom away. Okay, now first she was, let's get the right one, not that one, this, okay. It was Fangmei Sweet, because I did look up the care instructions. Fangmei Sweet. Difficulty beginner. Yay! You see, they do have ones that are good for everybody. Size will be medium, likes warm, wet, dry cycle. Perfect for us people growing in bark, east morning light, moss or bark. So that's looking pretty good and very nice choice. Thank you, Georgia. So now look at this one. It has lots of leaves. Now this one, its name is Phalaenopsis Fangmei, based on average Phalaenopsis care. And use guide should be adapted to suit your environment, which goes for all of these. So this one has lots of leaves, and I didn't know if those were water spots or variegated color in the leaves. So I'm not sure. It looks like variegated leaves. Okay, now here we have the same thing. Carolyn's not saving any moss. It's just how I like to live, even in a very dry environment. You know, you watch me what I do with my humidity levels and how I handle them. Let's get most of this out here. Okay. It's a cute little one, isn't it? So pretty. Oh, very pretty. Okay, now let's see what we can do here. Get some of this out of here. Some of you can scrape and some of you can kind of pinch and pull. Pinch and pull. There we go. The water will also help. Let's look in the bottom here. It is quite packed. They do like air, but they grow them and they send them out and they know they're ready to be looked after. And it's a little our responsibility to do that then. To educate ourselves, which I always like to do. Okay, I think a good rinse. Look at these beautiful roots on the top. Now, it's not going to have a lot of roots going deep. A lot of them are out where there's air and moisture. And new growth starting, very good signs. But under here, there's not many going deep, but they will be when I finish with them. Okay, so just rinse them with that nice baby bath water. Now, I never found a tag for this. It wasn't there when I first looked. I have to make a tag. It is a beauty though, isn't it? So I think most of the moth has been removed. Maybe there is some hiding way in here. Right in there and in there. Because those roots are so snug there. Oh yeah, to give that another rinse. nice, very nice roots. There, that's better. That's better. Okay, so I never had another real small pot, and this one doesn't have a lot of roots, and this pot is a little big. So, what to do, what to do. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask you to just wait a minute, and I'll show you when I get back what I'm doing. Here I am. I don't have a lot of small pots anymore, but here I am, and look at, these are big pieces of lava rock that were barbecue lava rock that were real cheap, that I use to help under the pot sometimes in the saucer. I keep moisture in the saucer, and the humidity helps stay in all those little holes. But they're real dirty, they get a lot of washing. But also they will add humidity to the pot. But I'm going to have, because the roots on this orchid are all surface roots, I'm going to, for now, it will change its pot when I find one. But for now, that will help. I don't want it too wet all the way down, just up where the roots are. So now we're going to put some bark in there. I probably should have soaked a little more. Actually, I might just have enough. Now that will be the bed it sits on. So nothing's going to rot down there, but because most of the roots are sitting near the surface, there. It's beautiful, all these roots. I just love it, really. So I've had others like this, and it's good. There are lots of them healthy growing. I might add a little bark to this one. Oh, I got a strainer. Let me grab my strainer because I'm going to dump this water. I hate dumping it because I use it for my plants. Maybe if I get a bowl, I can still use that water. There we go. You know, when you get a little older, pushing 75, you got lots of antique bowls you had for years. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, this is so good for your house plants or outside plants. There, a little dirtier in the bottom. It looks pretty black, but I can take that outside and use it. So, and there's a little bit more left in here, and it's okay, it's sort of the wetter bark. But it'll be on the surface, and I think I'm going to add a little more bark to this one. There. Poor baby. I always misjudge how much bark I need. It's one of my bad habits. But I do have some which I'll soak right away and put on the top of this one. And quite often when I have one that's where the roots are sitting all near the surface, quite often I'll get a little weight and put it on the plant so that it feels secure, because they like to feel secure. Okay, let's just see. Now these leaves are spotted, and I have to see if this is a variated leaf. Sometimes Roehampton's there listening. But I'm going to give you a close-up. It's beautiful. Very beautiful and very healthy roots. And I have another saucer. And I'm going to put it over here. I do not have a name tag. I have to make a name tag for this one. It's also a beginner. It also is a wet-dry cycle, so it's a very good choice. These were so perfect choices for me and so beautiful. And I'm happy to get them in bark. And now we're going to talk about a giveaway. So I'm just going to change our venue here. And we're going to look over this side of the kitchen at what I have. See about how well I set that up. Probably cut my head off. Okay, a little higher or a little back further. Maybe that'll work. Okay. Oop, still not high enough. Okay. I'm not the best gamma person. I never did, you don't see fancy words and colors and explosions of fireworks because I don't have a clue how to do that. It's amazing I do the videos at all. Anyway, I have 3 orchids here that I am going to give away. Now, it's a kind of funny giveaway, but a nice giveaway. They're all going to go to the same person because they have all these beautiful basket pots that I found at sales. And this is the flower. They all flowered this year. This one still has some left. And this one also flowered this year, and its spike has been cut off. They have very good roots. And this one, its leaf looks sad, but it's a growing season, and there's a new leaf coming, and I don't know what happened to it, but it has the most beautiful flowers, and they've been out a long time. So, I am going to repot these in fresh bark with the same pots. I could do a video on that. We'll see how my time schedule goes, but that's what I'm going to do. And if you want these 3 and you live in my area, because the reason I'm doing this is very few people, Donna out Blind Bay, very few people have let me know that they live at Salmon Arm and they have orchids or watch this channel. So, and some people, our prices in this area are horrendous for orchids. I'm talking 50, 60 bucks, except for the one I found at Rona for 20 something that's paloric. So, if you can't afford an orchid and you've been dying, here's 3. I will repot it. They will be good for 3 to 4 years before you have to repot it. I will print out the water schedule. You will get the water schedule. So, I have to do in a first come served basis. Email me, and I'll put the email underneath the description of this video at carolynorchidfriends@gmail.com. And first come, first serve. When I first get an email, okay, that's locally. If within a few days I haven't heard from anybody locally, don't be afraid to also send your name in if you're in BC. If you're in BC and you're living in a climate like ours, please also send your mail. I can do a local mail to somewhere in BC or here. And that helps encourage people that maybe can't afford an orchid to start with 3 that are used to being together. They don't take up a lot of space. They can also hang. They're in beautiful little baskets. So, I figure I got 3 new ones in that were such a surprise, and a species that is good for me to keep learning, and I can let 3 in, 3 out. And I'm happy to do that. So thanks for joining me, and I'm going to clean up this mess and be back with you before you know it with another video. Bye for now.